guys, and welcome to my channel, Changing Phases Tarot. I'm so happy to have you here with me today. I will be doing today's reading. It will be a weekly reading. So this is for the week of November 20th through November 26th, 2017. This is a general reading. I'll be pulling 3 cards from the Good Tarot deck by Colette Baron-Reid, plus 1 card from the bottom of the deck for the overall energy for the week, and 1 card just as an additional message from the Soul's Journey lesson card by James van Praagh. I'll remind you that this is a general reading. If you would like a more specific reading focusing on you and what's going on in your life, please do send me an email and we can set that up. My email is changingphasestarot@gmail.com. I'd also remind you to join me. You can join me on Facebook. My page is Changing Phases Tarot Readings. Okay, and just a quick note about other readings. I have already posted the November mid-monthly reading focusing on career and finance, as well as love and romance, so check that out. I will, for the month of December, besides the two big readings that I post for each of the signs, so the general monthly plus the mid-monthly, I will also be posting a 2018 overview, and this will be for the energy surrounding all of the signs for the new year, for the upcoming 2018 year. So be looking out for that during the month of November. Okay, so let's get started. Let me put my cards together here. All right, so first I will pull 3 cards, and I have already been shuffling off camera and have meditated on the cards. So we will just get started with our shuffle. I'm looking for the energies surrounding the week of November 20th through November 26th, 2017. What do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us during the week of November 20th through November 26th? So a lot of cards fell out. Let me put those back. So Spirit, what do we need to know? What are the energies surrounding us during the week of November 20th through November 26th, 2017? One last card. All right, so the 2 cards that fell out together, we have in the first position, so this will be the past position, the 7 of Earth. This will be the 7 of Pentacles in the traditional deck, followed by the Messenger of Water. This would be the Knight of Cups. And in the future position, we have Strength. Major Arcana number 8, Strength. And the card at the bottom of the deck, so the overall energy for this 2-week period, we have the 5 of Fire. This would be the 5 of Wands in the traditional deck. Okay, we set that down. Now we need 1 additional card, 1 additional message for the week of November 20th through November 26th. We need to know 1 additional message for the week of November 20th through November 26th. What do we need to know? What is 1 additional message for the week? Okay. Ooh, okay. We have Success. That's a nice card. It says, I know that there is no greater goal than to love. All right, give me 1 second. Let me just set the cards up and I will be right back with the reading. All right, here we go. Okay, so as I was setting up the cards, there was just something about like these seem very, positive cards, and then you have this Five of Fire as the overall energy, and so that one was just kind of standing out. And so I did pull some clarifiers on it, and I used this. It's the pocket golden edition of the Klimt Tarot. I love those. They're teeny tiny, so I don't use them in readings. I should probably get the regular size deck because it's a really beautiful deck, but I'll show you them in 1 second. So, okay, beginning with the Five of Fire as our overall energy for this week, the week of the 20th through the 26th. It's a card that it deals with some type of conflict, right? It's fire energy. So the fire suit is the suit of wands in the traditional tarot, and it's a suit that has to do with ambition, right? It's everything that we feel that we are passionate about, that it's our work, it's creative projects. So it's a suit that has to do with creativity. It has to do with inspiration, determination, ambition, courage as well, which is interesting because we have, the strength card, the courageous line right next to it. But with the Five of Fire, this is, like I said, it's a card of conflict, but typically it's kind of that conflict that it's not that serious. If it's in a work environment, this is like the bickering and the not seeing eye to eye on something, or it could have more to do with intimidation because in some decks I've seen this, like for example in the Crystal Visions Tarot deck, it's represented as three men carrying wands, which are definitely not swords. So they don't, they're more, they have them more to intimidate than for anything else. And they're not really attacking each other. They're just kind of holding up the wands, to intimidate. And then there are also a couple of lions there, which again, they're baring their teeth, trying to sort of gain that alpha male position, but they're really not doing anything. So it is a card that, that has that type of energy to it, where it's conflict, but it's more about sort of competition and power struggle than anything else, right? So so there might be something going on during the week where you're dealing with somebody, or more than one person in the work environment who might not see eye to eye with you, right? There might be some type of diversity. In the Good Tarot deck, it does tend to put a more, obviously a positive spin on all the cards. So it kind of asks us to honor differences, right? To find unity in diversity, which, if you live here in the U.S., that would be a good thing to do right now. Try to find unity, right? Because there are a lot of things going on here right now, but we won't get into that. So, it's a card that it asks you to sort of recognize these conflicts, but, and that's kind of why I pulled the clarifiers. And let me show you the cards. So starting off in the past position of the clarifiers, it's more like the message that I get off the three together. We have the Two. This is the Two of Pentacles, which is a card that, it's earth energy. It has to do with balance, right? It has to do with finding that balance in different areas of your life. Also, it could have to do with juggling, like juggling your finances, juggling sort of work with home, juggling different areas of your life. It also has to do with partnerships. It is a Two, so it's about relationships, partnerships, balance. In the middle position, major arcana number 16, the Tower. Sorry, let me hold it up like that. They are so small, it's hard to see there. It's a beautiful, I love the deck, based on the artwork of Gustav Klimt. So obviously, the Tower, it's all about sort of unexpected change, and like this destruction. And some people are, they get a little scared when they see the Tower turn up because, it's kind of it is quite a formidable card, but it's more about looking at, what needs to be torn down and the destruction of certain structures that maybe were not that stable to begin with. And then as the outbound, or the last card of the clarifiers, there's the Six of Wands, which is a card of victory. And it's actually the card that comes, interestingly enough, after the Five of Wands. So, whatever conflict that you're dealing with right here, you are going to be victorious. And you see that she's carrying the laurel, the wreath of victory. So I felt better once I saw this card coming out after it, and if there was something going on to do with a conflict within the a partnership in the work environment, or just within a partnership, just know that whatever conflict or whatever difficult situation you might face, with this conflict, there's victory on the other side of it, on the other end of it. So, you will come out on top. So that's good to know. So let's get in, and that's kind of, it does go along with the outbound energy, but we'll get to that. So starting off here, so this is the energy at the beginning of the week. We have the Seven of Earth, and this is a Pentacles energy, so Earth energy. So this has to do with our material. It's the material realm, right? All of the sort of the tangible things that we can touch and feel, and have to do with, our work and our career and our finances, and the material possessions that we are able to gain through the work that we do, the money that we earn. And the Seven of Earth, it's a card that has to do with, yes, you're feeling very happy with yourself. You can see that the man is looking backwards here, sort of looking back on his achievements, on what he has been able to accrue and achieve so far. But it's also sort of you're poised, and you're really considering things. And even though you are very happy with what you have achieved, you're sort of open to, or looking forward and thinking about, okay, so now I've gotten to here, what do I need to do now, right? What comes next? So it's kind of like it's almost like the Two of Wands, where you're at a crossroads, but you're being very open. In this deck, that's it's the interpretation that is given, right? Is that you're open to a decision being made, right? So there might be, if this is within your work or career, there might be a decision, right, that needs to be made coming up. You might feel very good. You might have, be completing some type of project or milestone at your work. So you've reached this goal, you've reached the milestone, and now you're just kind of pausing and thinking, okay, now what needs to be done, after all of this hard work. So you're feeling proud. You're proud of your efforts. You're proud of everything that you've achieved so far. But you also know that, you need to keep working away to really get to where it is that you want to go ultimately. In the middle position, right, in the present, and obviously time is malleable, so whenever you hear this is when you're supposed to, and that would be the present. But, thinking about the week, this would probably be sort of midweek of the 20th through the 26th. You have the Messenger of Water. So again, this is the Knight of Cups, and Cups energy, water energy, has to do with our emotions, right? Our feelings, and how our feelings move things along, and or influence our behavior, influence our relationships, and kind of the flow, right? How we move through life. And it also has to do with intuition, but in general, it's feelings and emotions. So with the Messenger of Water, it could be a person. We're dealing with a court card here. So this could be a water sign person. If it is, it would be generally a middle-aged, sort of 30 to 40-year-old. Doesn't necessarily have to be male, because we know in the traditional deck, this would be the Knight, right, which is a male. Here, she's portrayed as a beautiful woman, so, not gender specific at all. But it would be a water sign, so that would be either a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio, and like I said, middle-aged. And as the name suggests, it is somebody who could be bringing in a message, right, or some type of, generally it's a message, so it has to do, and a message that is going to make you feel very happy. So it's going to bring a lot of emotional joy, right, fulfillment to your life. It's interesting the way that she's kind of looking at the seahorse there, just staring at it, and they're just having this kind of deep connection, right, between the two of them. I don't think I've ever noticed that when I've seen this card before, and I use this deck all the time. Yeah, so I don't know. There might be this sort of face-to-face encounter with another person, right? You might, this message might be coming in through this Knight of Water, through this Messenger of Water. And if it is, then generally it has to do with this person is kind of the knight in shining armor, and however you want to interpret that. Again, it's not gender specific, but generally it's somebody bringing in a romantic invitation, a romantic request. It's that person who's, kind of very dreamy, very romantic, thinks with their heart over their head, so uses their intuition, uses their, their emotions to deal with a situation or, whatever it is that they are dealing with. So there could be a message or an offering, of love or something that brings in great emotional happiness and fulfillment around the middle of the week. And what we have as the outbound energy is the Strength card. And that's a major arcana card. And the Strength card, like the name suggests, it has to do with strength, but it's not physical strength, right? Here we're talking about emotional strength. So this is inner strength, courage, right? It also has to do with patience and, willpower and sort of mind over matter, right? More so than physical power. So it's a card that has to deal with determination, kind of sticking to what you believe and, working through whatever it is and going the distance and just knowing that everything does happen in divine timing, right? And when you sort of trust in that, then things begin to manifest in your life. And this is, as a major arcana card, it is sort of divine intervention or divine orchestration at play here. So, it's more about you just trusting in that and knowing that things happen at the right time. So if you're, if you're wondering about what the next step is here, what the next, the next stone on the path, what you need to follow, where you need to go, it seems as though you'll be receiving some type of message that's going to bring great happiness to you. You just need to sort of stay very focused on what it is that that you want right now. But ultimately you will, it's going to work out. You're going to be victorious, even though there might be some type of conflict, some type of, not seeing eye to eye with somebody. It's going to work out. And that's kind of echoed here with the success card, right? And so you have the victory card here and then the success card on the other side. And for the Soul's Journey cards, I usually just read the meaning from the guidebook. So let me read that for you. So the card is success, and it says, success can mean many things to the ego's self, but the soul only knows one triumph, and that is to love. When your soul is no longer manifested in the physical dimension, it is a time of reflection on how successful it was with that endeavor. The soul doesn't care how big your house was, or how nice your car was, or how many bank accounts you had. The soul only cares about how you expressed love and compassion. In the infinite wisdom of the universe, the more love you demonstrate, the more you will receive. And even your ego's definition of success is altered. Your notion of how you would be perceived as successful will change. The material things that you thought would make you happy will not have the same appeal. So that's interesting because, it kind of goes along with this, what is the next step, and what is it that, you've achieved a certain amount of either financial stability or success, right, with your finances or with your career. If this is in a relationship, then it's kind of like, things have been going well in the relationship. You've been, plodding along. You're trying to figure out what's the next thing or where's the next, what's the next step for you guys. But something's happening around the middle of the week, right? And this is something is going to be coming in, but it's more about stepping back and really looking at things. And, with the clarifies over here with the Tower and the need for balance and sort of, old structures coming down. I would say it's possibly a week that you or many of you out there watching the video will be kind of looking at what you have held as important up to now, and maybe your goals are changing. So maybe this new offer coming in, it's going to bring great great emotional happiness and fulfillment. But maybe it's not what, before you would have thought of as, something that you would have considered success. So this could be, you could be looking at a different path and as far as, work. So maybe venturing out and doing something different. Whatever it is, just know that, you need to stick to the path, right? Stick to your decision, keep going. You're heading in the right direction here. And ultimately you will be successful. You have 2 success cards, and, this might not happen during the month of November. This might kind of play out, since we're looking at the last week of November. This might tide over until December, but, it definitely seems like there's work to be done. You need to, possibly stand your ground, confront people. There might be some type of conflict, but it's not going to be that serious, right? You are going to get over it, and it does seem like there are new messages, new things coming in for you that are going to bring great happiness, and you're going to feel very fulfilled and successful with it. So, nice message for the last week of the month. So for those viewers here in the U.S. celebrating Thanksgiving, I do hope that you have a wonderful Thanksgiving holiday, however you decide to spend that. And I look forward to reading for you again. And just know that I'm sending you all much peace, love, and light. Bye.